The first thing I think about when I think about integrity is being truthful and doing the right thing even when no one's watching.
When I think about integrity, I think about being honest and a stand-up person.
In life, everybody makes mistakes. It's when you make those mistakes, you admit it, you learn from it, and then work really hard to fix it.
Trust. Integrity is reliability. Somebody that's reliable is true to their word and follows through with what they say, and that therefore makes them trustworthy.
It's being strong in your convictions or your principles.
Maya Angelou would say, do the best you can until you know better. When you know better, do better.
To me, integrity means doing the right thing, whether somebody's watching you or not.
The first thing that pops into my head is honesty, being true to yourself.
Well, the easy answer would be for me to say being a teacher teaches me all sorts of things about compassion, but before I was a teacher, I was involved in theater and event production, and both of those involve working with a team and require you to set aside yourself, your ego, to try and understand what somebody else is dealing with or somebody else's strengths or weaknesses and move forward as a team.
It takes a big person to understand and empathize with what others are going through and to be able to meet them where they're at.
Understanding others, knowing what they're going through and trying to help them.
Compassion is really important. I think in this day and age, the most helpful thing you can do in situations is ask questions instead of making judgments or accusations. Questions helps you understand people better, and I think that's what helps people with compassion.
I think that compassion is a word that is very dependent upon other words. Words like empathy, which is understanding, and understanding can't take place without knowledge. So they're all intrinsically tied together, where you have to know, understand, and have knowledge of things before you can truly be compassionate about something.
To me, compassion is putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You need to be aware that not everyone thinks the way you do or has the same background as you do.
When I think about compassion, I think about being respectful and true, whether it's in your life, community, or school.
I think first being kind to others, but also being kind and having compassion for yourself.
One of the phrases that's used in education is the term grit. And grit, I think, is really about that very concept of resilience. Winston Churchill would say, if you're going through hell, don't stop, keep going. And that's really what resilience is the ability to get back up, because you're not always going to be right or get it right the first time. It's that commitment to continuing.
It helps to build skills to teach you that you can do hard things, that you can work through things that are difficult.
You know, don't give up. You finish the task, and then when the task is complete, reevaluate and move forward.
As much as you can try to plan your life out, life happens. And resilience is just taking whatever happens and making the best of it.
As you grow up, you have all these people around you that can be there to support you and help you through tough times. But in the real world, as you grow and go into the real world, you'll have to do it on your own, and you're going to go through these tough times on your own. So being able to be resilient is a good thing to have.
Throughout life, there will often be setbacks and hurdles, and you need to learn how to handle those, address those, and bounce back from them to continue to move forward.
Failure is the greatest teacher, or sometimes the Greeks are attributed with saying suffering is the greatest teacher. It helps you move forward, and to quote Rocky Balboa, it ain't about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Your life is going to be filled with good and bad moments. And the good moments you can handle without any trouble, but resilience will help you get through the bad times.
So when I think about our high school students' behavior and the impact that they would have on younger kids, absolutely. The elementary and middle school students do look up to our high school students as to what does it mean to be a Raider and how do I interact with others and what's appropriate school behavior. They are role models whether they know it or not.
I think that the upper level students definitely influence those who are younger. I think they look up to it. I think any connections we can make from the high school to the lower levels is crucial, as long as those activities are positive. And I know that younger students look up to those that are older.
I absolutely do. I see it in my own children. They look up to the high school girls that I coach, that I've been a part of. They hang posters in their bedrooms, and they're even embarrassed to talk to the high school kids when we see them in Quick Trip because they're so nervous. They're a local celebrity to the youth, and so I think those behaviors absolutely have an impact. If they see older kids giving back and being positive leaders, that's what they will aspire to be as well.
I would say yes. I would think the behavior at the high school level for those students, those younger kids, whatever, in middle school and in elementary school, they look up to the high school students and potentially what they're going to be like when they're in high school. So
The younger kids always learn by example. Take yourself, for example. You learned how to walk and talk from your parents. You learned how to ride a bike maybe from your older sibling. You learned how to socialize at school with your peers. So you need to be the positive role model so the younger generation can see what is the good in humanity.
Absolutely. I don't think it's changed since whoever came up with the phrase, monkey see, monkey do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I even remember being in elementary school and looking up to the high school students, going to the, athletic games and so forth. And the high schoolers are the coolest. You want to imitate them, you want to act like them. So I definitely think it has a huge impact on the younger kids.
High school influence, I think it has a huge impact on elementary students, especially the athletes. Especially if you're at football, wrestling is very big, softball for the girls, even volleyball. I know gymnastics and dance is starting to get really big. They look up to them. That's who they want to be. They want to be the quarterback for the Medford Raiders. They want to be the captain of the Medford volleyball team. They look up to them. So I think when they come and visit during those lunch periods, I think that's really good for the kids to see how high school kids act and what role models that they can be and portray, because I think they look forward to those high school years.
High school is great because you get to choose your own classes and there's awesome teachers. I want to be a big kid just like them.
I want to be a big kid. They're so cool.
I look up to the high schoolers because they'll show me what I'll be someday, and they're very, very cool. Because they keep us safe and play with us. High schoolers should be good role models because the little kids are always watching and they look up to the big kids, so the little kids know how to act, so they're going to be just like them.